try that. Hopefully you can hear me. I don't know what's going on. Look at the little twirly thing going on behind me here. And here's another little twirly thing going on behind me. Hello, Ray.
Hello, hello.
It's Rokk and Ray too. Oh my god. Poor old Sammy. I don't know what happened. I genuinely all my USB stuff died, and there's no way of getting back in to the same broadcast once you're out. So I don't know. I'm sorry about that, my friend.
No,
let's get Sammy back.
Let's get Sammy back in. I was getting ready to do share the news, and then it just.
I know. Well, stuff happens. Stuff happens.
It does under the mercy of technology, folks. It's live. It's live.
It's annoying. It was actually going really well, and it was this PC that.
Well, I'm glad you got your skin color back.
I did. Yeah, I look nicer.
you look great. You look great.
And there's Sammy. Hey. Hello, Sammy. Sorry about that, my friend. We had some gremlins of the highest order going on there, I think, which is most annoying. But we can do everything here. It's just not quite as pretty, which is a real shame. But people are coming back. Bless them all. Thank you so much, Dre, Lukey, Blake. By the way, Dre, how are you feeling, my friend? You were under the weather for a couple of days, I know, with some sort of a virus. Dave, Cody 6. Cody 6. I'm sorry, my head's all over the place. Codex Gaming.
Dave.
The fourth fella. Bless him. Eli, good to see you back. Yeah, you did trick. I don't think it was you that jinxed it, Eli. It was just my camera went, then the mic went, and then I thought I've got to restart. I'm on a restart, and I couldn't get back.
I was talking about my mic here, and that's when all hell went. So blame it on me.
So don't talk about it again.
No, I know. Don't do it again. Don't do it again. Dre, that's good to hear. He's still feeling a bit icky, but he's up and watching the stream. Well, we really appreciate you having you here. And as I say, once again, thank you for coming back. And apologies. We were doing well. We were getting 20-odd folk watching us, and they've all gone. Bless them. But don't worry. Should we get on with the news? Because we only got 20 minutes left.
Let's go for the news.
We'll go for the news. But before we go for the news, the one thing that I've got to do is get the notes up. Sorry, guys. I had everything set up, as you know, Ray.
Then you had to restart your PC.
Yeah. And then I had to everything's gone. But it would take me 2 seconds. The first one, we don't even need, to be fair, we don't even need to pull up a slide. It was... If you remember, I think it was last week, we said that Borderlands 3 was going to be free to play over the weekend. And everyone got really excited because they said they would be having a content creators extravaganza with free copies of the game and tips and all sorts, and using, what's it called, where they could pull you into the game, all that stuff. Yeah, all that stuff, and of course, it didn't happen, Ray. It didn't happen, and it was hours later, and a lot of people were literally kind of sat waiting because it was all happening over at Borderlands channel. I know Dom was there.
Well, maybe something on their end, technology-wise, or something didn't show up.
Technology is difficult, isn't it?
Yeah, something happened.
Yeah, well, this was finally the tweet that Stadia came up with, which basically just said unforeseen circumstances. There was some urchin who said Kevin, the YouTube boy, had lost his password. And he'd lost his password on YouTube and couldn't get in, and he was fuming at Google. It did make me laugh, but it wasn't anybody from Ubisoft. But there you go. We will never know why, but it's a shame because just not been great, is it, this last couple of days? What with Outriders or Outrageous, as it's been renamed, I think, and this thing as well. So yeah, what a shame. Yeah. There you go, Eli. I know we can do the show from here, and it works quite well. but I was trying to be clever. And my computer wasn't having none of it. So there you go. The truth be told, you can't run Restream and OBS at the same time, no matter what they tell you. Oh, look, there's Brandon. How are you, my friend?
Guys,
Brandon's been under the weather just recently with some family stuff. So it's good to see you, my friend. So we'll never know, is the honest truth to that. We will never know.
Right.
There was something else that you had to be quick off the mark with, otherwise you would never know either. And here we go over to our good friends at Stadia Source. And that was last week, somebody discovered a little hackette that if you entered a code into a special link and then put that code, there was a tail end of a URL, you could paste that into the redeem box on Stadia. You could unlock 3 months of free Stadia Pro. Guess what, Ray?
What?
I did it.
Did you do it? Did you do
It
it?
worked for you.
Yeah.
Man, hey.
Yeah.
Oh, you lucky so-and-so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got it
Wow.
free till June now. Woohoo!
I barely paid for it for my first year because of various offers like this. So I don't mind paying for it now.
Oh, it was just you had to be there at the right time because literally within a couple of hours they plugged it up.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Of course they did.
Yeah,
Especially if you tweet about it and everyone else tweets about it.
I know. Well, that was the
We
thing.
should have just
wasn't
passed it around DMs. And
it? So Dre says, yeah, sorry about that. It worked for him as well.
Dre,
don't think it's fair, but he did it as well. Okay.
Yeah, and Lee, Stadia Dad, he got it in. Lukey 6, he got in as well. I tell you, I wouldn't be surprised if a ton of people had literally got 3 months of free
wait
Stadia
a minute. This
Pro.
must have happened when the Americans were sleeping. Because there's nobody.
I think it did. It was in the morning. No, you're right, Ray. It was in the morning.
UK morning. I woke up to the news. Yeah.
It was UK morning. So by the time you guys woke up, it had probably been plugged. And to be fair, Stadia would have been in bed as well. So it all happened for a few joyous hours. And then it was over.
Hey, my hat off to him.
Yeah, it was good though. I mean, I don't know who came up with it. It would have been a Reddit thing, wouldn't it? I would have thought. Somebody on Reddit.
But hey, you guys know Luna, the contests and stuff. So I'm glad that you guys were able to get some.
Yeah, it's a shame. Well, yeah, I mean, it was always going to get patched. To be fair, we were just in the right place, the right country, the right time zone at the right time, basically.
Yeah.
I'm going to swiftly move through these guys because we've still got to do the Rokk review, and I'm just aware that we've lost a lot of time. But Chris Tales is being released on July the 20th, so we've now got a release date for Chris Tales. There's something you've been looking forward to, Sammy?
I want to look through this game. I've not played many JRPGs myself, but having looked through, it's got that time travel element to it as well. When you're battling enemies, you can either send them to the past or future.
Oh, wow.
I might actually give this game a try. So looking forward
much
to it.
Anticipated. I mean, it's not, anyone who watches my stuff knows it's not my cup of Earl Grey, but there's a huge JRPG sect out there, and we've got a ton of them, of course, just arrived on Stadia, let alone coming up. Ray, this look the kind of thing you'll play? I think it probably is.
Yeah, I would definitely give it a try. I'd give it a try.
July 20th, so not too far down the road. Interestingly enough, it's a Colombian game. Colombian developer Dreams Uncorporated. Great name. Which is quite interesting. You don't often hear of studios in Colombia, do you? Well, certainly not making games anyway.
No.
Coffee, maybe. Oh, look, Sam Smith. I love Sam Smith. Right. There was also, this has just landed today, a big second hotfix, I think it is, for Cyberpunk, which you'll be pleased to hear, Ray, because you're a massive Cyberpunk
I was actually streaming this yesterday, and I had my cars. When you request your vehicles to come to you, they were actually stacking on one another, like stack on stacks. But it was my motorcycle car, like it was making a double-decker sandwich or something, and it was crazy. It's a crazy glitch.
So lots of stuff that's very specific to the game.
Wow.
That,
Yeah.
to be fair, bits and pieces within storylines and stuff that, for anyone who doesn't have the game or like me hasn't progressed very far, probably doesn't mean a huge amount. There is some other bits and pieces like UI fixes, icons that were missing, just some general quality of life stuff.
Did they say when this fix is coming?
I think it's out.
Okay.
So hotfix, a brand new hotfix has been deployed for Cyberpunk 2077.
And we've got to see because this game launched in December with these bugs. They fixed load in the initial launch. They've had another big list earlier. Why do we think they ended up releasing the game on that December 10th? There was clearly so
marketing,
much stuff.
isn't it? Yeah, it's there's the same question. We'll come actually to this little news item in a second, but there's I think the problem, Sammy, is these games are never 100. Look, I'm in the software development business, and I can absolutely guarantee you that no software's ever finished. I mean, the billions of lines of code that go into these things. You can test 400 people in a room, and they'll still miss stuff.
Yes.
So, but I think there's the pressure, there's the commercial pressure, particularly on, they've got to build ahead of steam to push these games out months, even years before they even get beyond the initial planning stages. And of course, what they don't want to do is lose that ahead of steam. So, you absolutely, and if you think about it, last year, Cyberpunk was put back 2, 3, 4 times, wasn't it, from its original launch
and it
date?
still was not ready.
Exactly.
Still not ready.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one because on the one hand, that there are very genuine and very professional people that are trying to get the game as good as they can possibly get it, not just for us, but for their own professional sakes.
Yes.
But then you've got marketing and sales and PR and those guys that are saying, look, we've committed. We've got to have something out. And don't forget, they all have these little timelines, don't they, in the year. If they don't get the game out in those timelines, they clash up against other games, or they're out of season, or Black Friday comes and they can't push it out, and all that stuff. So it's quite a intricate business to get right. But they didn't get it right. You're absolutely correct there, Sammy, and neither did Square Enix with Outriders. No question, that's undercooked as well. That shouldn't have come out for another 6 months, in my estimation. But we'll come on to that in a second. It's a good point, and it's particularly with Outriders. It might even be the next story. Well, kind of is, because our very good friend, everybody loves, Jem, said on Twitter this morning, oh, it's gone, he's deleted it. I don't blame him. So Jem said, and he did say, don't quote me, but I was going to, and he's deleted it. He said that he thought that there would be a patch for Outriders on Stadia within 24 hours. But as the day progressed, initially he was really quite bullish, and he was like, well, you know what, I'm not sure about my source, and now he's deleted it. So I think he completely lost confidence, bless him. But it's coming soon, I'm sure of that. We know there's another patch this week, or has been another patch this week. So it's got to be coming soon. Whatever's going on almost certainly has a lot to do with whoever they brought in to port it to Stadia, because I don't think many studios are doing it in-house.
Right.
And I think it could well be our friends in Poland. I've forgotten what they're called. Who undoubtedly, absolutely,
the guys that did Cyberpunk. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and the problem is they probably have moved on. And I've said this before that we sort of think of a massive amount of developers doing the porting. It probably is 1 or 2 people, and they've suddenly been yanked off to do something else, and they've got to come back and do patches, and it takes time. But Raf, bless him, our good friend Raf over at Cloudy with a Chance of Games, he put up an article a couple of days ago, and I thought this was interesting. He says Stadia wasn't originally supposed to have this until a later date. However, they pulled it out of the bag, making it possible to play alongside other platforms on the first, which answers a lot of questions if that's true.
It certainly gives a reason why we're experiencing these issues.
Yeah,
why there's some discrepancies.
If it was undercooked generally, then and we know from when the beta was released as a demo, there were lots of issues, and that's the version that Stadia got. So, it's not unsurprising that it's not ready to be sold. Again, pressures of sales and marketing, wanting to be there first day and date with the big titles like they were with Cyberpunk.
And then we'll fix it later. We'll patch it up later.
Yeah, let's take the step. And I wouldn't be surprised if a huge amount of money exchanged hands to make sure that Outriders went day and date on Stadia. And I bet there are some very angry people behind the scenes who were expecting the same quality of game hitting the platform as it appeared everywhere else.
I suppose the one thing we've got going for Stadia with Outriders is when that patch does come out, we're not having to download it and reinstall the games. It's just immediately on there.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Sammy. I mean, all the benefits of playing it on the cloud are still there. It's just a shame at the moment that the relationship with the developers is still very embryonic. Of course, the very first time we ever heard of Stadia, it was Stadia selling it to developers to get them on board. And so many things were said to developers that were picked up by us consumers that they've regretted ever since. And they weren't for our ears in many ways. Mm-hmm. But that's all good. It's all good. So that's going to happen. And then finally, not really related to Stadia, but I got this today. I think I broke it, actually. Not literally, physically.
He's broken other things tonight.
Yeah, I've broken everything else. This is launching tomorrow in the UK. And I think it's probably because it's a test. But it's called GTV, and it's from Ubisoft. And it is a gaming channel on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter. So it's across a multitude of platforms.
Whoa!
It looks very high quality. I mean, there's big budget shows here, panel shows, game streams, review shows. It's going to be a chunk of content through the day, permanently. So the reason, Rokk, so what's that got to do with Stadia? Well, Ubisoft Plus has to be breaking soon on Stadia in Europe, outside of the States, has to be. And of course, Ubisoft were the first partner as far as Stadia is concerned, back in the early days. So I think I'm hoping that there will be some Stadia coverage in the new channel. It won't simply be the big consoles and PCs, but that goes live tomorrow. No idea on the time. I don't think it was in the press release, but there is a tweet floating around on my Twitter with a link to GTV. It's just let's see what they're called. It's just GTV. So I guess if you look for GTV on YouTube, only 157 subscribers, but that's right. And they've got 932 views on the channel. But it's going to be big. And it's an interesting concept of taking, because there have been gaming TV channels over the years, both in the UK and in the States, I know, Ray. But that's a very expensive business when you're using the costs of proper broadcasting. So it's the first time, other than arguably people like IGN, I suppose, but this is the first time I've ever seen a studio
doing it.
One studio, because it's GTV from YouTube doing this wall-to-wall coverage of games. And it's not just their games, by the way. In the trailer, there's a couple of guys playing a boxing game, which I know isn't theirs. I think it's an EA game. So it's a general gaming channel. So that could be good. So Dre says there's a GTV France. Thanks, Dre. I wasn't aware of that. That's got 11,000 subs. So the chances are then that this has been coming out across multiple territories, which is again interesting. That would indicate to me quite an expensive exercise, because
you've got to localize it, do it in languages. Yeah,
right. It has to be done for each language. So that's amazing. Great. Well, that's the news. We managed to get through that pretty quickly. We're going to do Rokk review equally quickly, but
it's a fast-paced game anyway. So
it is a fast-paced game. Yeah, it absolutely is. I think I've got the old. Yes, here we go. Let's do this. Right, so consoles not required. This is obviously Sammy's channel, and the game that we are reviewing today, I'm just going to get it to the right place, is Formula One 2020. Sammy, you're the thing I associate most with you is racing games and car games and anything that's kind of racing and vehicles. Was that always the case, or is it just since you've got involved with Stadia? Oh, can you hear?
No, Sammy, we can't hear you.
You've gone on.
You're muted.
Oh, yes, it's always been the case. I've loved racing games ever since I could grow a beard. So, well, as we can't hear Sammy, but it doesn't matter. He's going to come back. He's going to come back in. Yeah, that's fine. So we can do this quickly, Ray. Anyway, we've got, as always, ladies and gentlemen, our reviews are done on the basis of hello.
Can you hear us? Can we hear you?
No, I can hear you. No.
Okay. Yep, we got you. No, don't go.
No, he's frozen on my screen, but that doesn't matter. We can hear you. We can hear you, even though you're waving at us. So yeah, as you guys know, the way we do the reviews is from a casual gamer's perspective. Me being that casual gamer, and I've got to get in and get out quick. That's the way I work in life. So if I've got to think about it, I'm probably not going to play it to death. We ask 5 questions. They are: how quickly can you get into the game? Can you pick up from where you left off? How easy is it to play? Is it rewarding? And is it value for money? Now, starting at the top, Ray, how quickly can you get into the game?
I gave it a 4. Mm-hmm. I feel I can get into the game pretty easily. They have the buttons to click on, get you in the game, and start a race, whatever race, or if you having a campaign, career mode, you just click in and just start your race. So yeah, I would say I can get in quickly.
Sammy, can you get into the game
I can hear
quickly?
Yeah, I can hear me. I can hear you.
Oh, that's good then.
Yep, good. So yeah, I've got no idea.
It wasn't the question, but I'm glad you can hear me.
So how quickly is it to get into the game?
Yes.
So I think I agree with Ray on that. It's 4 out of 5. It's, as someone like me who's familiar with the series, who's played a couple of previous games on other consoles, I'm very familiar with the setup and the menus. But you can go into a multiplayer race or a casual race very easily.
So out of 5, how many would you give it for getting in?
I think I agree with Ray. 4 out of 5.
4. Okay. I actually gave it a 3. I'm going to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer on this one, because not someone who doesn't know racing games a great deal. I found it took me a while to get through all the various menus and stuff and try and understand what's going on and what have you before I could actually get out there on the old track. But you know what? It's a decent simulator, or arcade simulator of a very technical sort of sport. So that's not hugely unsurprising. But, I am Mr. Casual Gamer, so I gave it a 3. So here we go. We're already down on that one. Can you pick up from where you left off? Now, by that, I mean, if you suddenly decided to leave halfway through a race, go and answer the phone or what have you, or you had to turn it all off and you came back an hour later, will it put you back at the same point in the race, Ray?
Well, of course not. I think you would just have to restart restart the race. But I still gave it a 4 because even when I can always hit like restart. Mm-hmm. Okay, I screwed up. I hit some barriers. My guy just flew out of the car and he's dead. I just hit restart and just start all over again. Or I gave it a 4.
Okay, well then that's fair enough. Yeah. I gave it a 2.
I saw that, man. Explain yourself.
Well, because I know you can't go back in the same place because it's multiplayer, and we know, Ray, from when we've said this with Division 2 or any of these games, it's impossible. outrider, you can't be dropped into the same place because it would require the whole world to freeze and wait for you to come back in. So it's no fault of the game, but nonetheless, you really can't come back to the same place you left off. So I gave it a 2. How easy is it to play, Sammy?
So how easy is it to play, or how easy is it to pick up where you left off? Because
we did that one.
Something which I think both of you have missed.
Did we? Did you not do the? Did you not answer that one?
I've not answered that one.
Get on with it.
And I've got some information which you've
What's wrong with you?
Which you've
We're trying to speed
missed.
things up here, mate.
Right,
Right, go on in.
Sorry,
Okay.
but you've missed something. I want to point it out.
Go on in.
When you're in an online multiplayer race, yes, you can't pause the game whilst you're mid corner and then come back to it at a later point.
No.
That won't. But on an online game, if you pause it, the AI will take over your car, but you can't go off and, for example, make a cup of tea, Stadia disconnects, you reconnect to it.
Yeah.
Whatever. In a non-online race, an offline race, when you pause the game, there is an option for a mid-session save, and you can click that, and that will save your state at that particular moment in the race. Think of it like state share, except you can't share your states with other people, but you'll be able to reload the race, and you can go in, you can pick a moment a few seconds beforehand, so you're back in the groove, and it's surprisingly accessible in that. So I'd actually give it a 5.
That, my friend, is why I'm crap at racing games, because I didn't know.
Ooh, he gave it a 5.
I know he gave it a 5.
I gave it a 5.
I don't know what I'm talking about here.
This is why you hadn't done it before. I did wonder.
I know. How easy is it to play, Sammy?
So the accessibility I find it very accessible. You can do quite a lot with different assists. You can see I race with the dynamic racing line always on, so I'm basically following the green line around the track. So I found it particularly accessible. You can switch various things off. So you can switch steering assist off, various things you can do with the engine. You can switch those off as whatever you want. I race with a lot of them on because I'm not actually as good as I make out.
Well, no, Duncan thinks you're very good.
Duncan thinks I'm very good, and as long as Duncan's not here, I beat him yesterday. Comprehensively, as long as he's not here.
He was quite keen for me to ask you, but I've been very gentlemanly like and kept that conversation away.
No, thank you. We race this frequently on our cloudy play-alongs, and it's great fun.
When are those? There's more than one a week, isn't there now?
So we normally do cloudy play-alongs on Tuesdays and Sundays. Recently we haven't done the Sunday ones, just not because we've been against doing it on Sundays, but various things have crept up and we've decided to drop play-alongs. And in fact, what we're doing on this Sunday, we've got some other event which I'll possibly talk about in a minute.
So in terms of ease of play, Sammy, what would
ease of play, I'd put it down as a 4. You have to know where to go in the settings and have to know what each setting would do.
Okay.
But they are all there. You can customize it however you like.
Fair enough. Ray?
I gave it a 3 because when I'm racing and I'm going full speed, I always seem to get penalized because I'm hitting the cars because you're going so fast. And when you're hitting the curves, I get a lot of penalties.
Right. Surely that's the problem with hitting the cars.
But how can you're going full speed and you got all those cars bunched up and you're going around the corners. It's like, how can you not? I mean, it's like, it's difficult, but like I said, but the game, if you do the certain settings and tweak it, and you can also tweak the car, you could probably make it easy. But I've done races and I always get knocked down to the bottom because of my penalties.
No, that's fair enough. So you don't think it's as easy to play as Sammy, clearly?
Nope. You got to be really, if you really want it. Like, look, come on. When you play against Duncan and you play against Sammy, because I used to do those cloudy races, I get my tail kicked, man. And then you get somebody like Brandon running into your car and knock you off this side of the road and stuff.
Yeah,
and I got some unfair penalties too, because I didn't even.
Everyone gets that.
They hit me. I got penalized and they hit me. I didn't hit them.
I happen to be rubbish, absolutely rubbish at racing games. And it annoys the hell out of me because I want to be good. I follow the green lines and everything, but even when I'm playing against bots, I lose. I can't. I'm just totally.
You can change the bot difficulty level.
Yeah, I know, but I've got to be able to do something half decent with it, Sammy. I can't be that bad forever. At some point, I've got to man up and learn how to. So I gave it a 2.
Doesn't like this game
because there's no racing game on the planet that I find easy to play. I mean, it's just the way it is. I can't, I've got to be honest. I mean, even the raindrops beat me. That's how bad I am. That's how bad I am. Is it rewarding? Now, by that, what we normally mean is, not just did I come away feeling proud or was it good fun, but do you feel like you've achieved something? Is there progression in there? Look at him dancing away, that kind of malarkey. What do you think, Sammy?
So I'd go with another high score. Unless I go for, I think 4.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into some of the career modes, so I've got a couple of championships I'm playing through on the game at the moment, where I've managed to find the right difficulty settings on the AI, so that I've got to really push to try and fight with them and even win races. So if you are able to get the AI settings just right, you can have some great races. You're not being left behind by a couple of seconds of lap, and you're also not winning by 20 or 30 seconds of lap. And for me, I'd much rather lose by 1 second than win by 20.
Right.
Because that means it's a close race. You've had some good side-by-side action. And I find that most rewarding. Not that type of side-by-side action, I've got to admit. Thank you very much, Jem, for that. That's the kind of side-by-side action that I'm not as much a fan of, but seems to happen nonetheless.
Jem is annoying because he is good at everything, single game.
You know what?
Yeah.
I was playing Outcasters and he jumped in and he beat everybody. It's just no fun.
I don't know,
fun playing with him. So
he's
fun.
just
fun.
He's that Rain Man of gaming.
He seems to be just about good at everything.
He really is. He's brilliant at everything. Don't you just love people like that? And then finally, is it value for money?
I gave it a 4. Rokk, I gave it a 4 for rewards.
Oh, sorry, Ray, did I not ask you whether you found it rewarding? Ray, did you find it rewarding? It's one of those shows.
It's all good, Rokk. I gave it a 4, and the reason why I gave it a 4 is because no matter what, even though I suck, it's still, you're in an F1 car, man. I'm in there's nothing like that. The speed and also getting sponsorship, which I never get sponsored. And it's just an amazing game.
You gave it a 4. Sammy, sorry, what did you give it for rewarding?
I believe I gave it a 4 as well.
You did a 4, okay.
Yeah.
I feel real ham because I gave it a
2. I saw that.
But it's not fair on the game and I feel really bad. But I didn't. Look, I tell you what, I'm going to give it a 4 because that's just not on. I feel rough about that.
Not every game is for everyone.
No, it's true. But it's not the game's fault.
And Outriders, and they're not my types of games.
Rokk, you can paint the cars. You can change your uniform. There's other settings you can do and have fun with.
No, of course you can. Of course it's rewarding. It's a daft thing to give it to. Egypt. Finally, is it value for money, Ray?
You believe it or not, I gave it a 4 because no matter what, you're getting a really action-packed racing game. It is probably one of the best F1 simulation games I've ever seen. And I honestly, when I do play it, I do have fun. It's custom. I mean, it's simulation, it's racing. It's got a lot of things that go into it that makes it pretty cool. So yeah, I gave it a 4.
Perfect. Sammy, value for money?
Again, I'm quite biased on this game, but I'd give it 5.
You are the yin to my yang, aren't you?
I am. We've contrasted each other very well tonight.
Yes.
But I've really, was it good value for money? So I bought this game with the DLC on day one when it released back in July. I worked this out recently, and absolutely loved it. You can do just about anything in the game: arcade races like we do on our Cloudy Play Alongs, or you can do some more simulation style races where you tap someone's wheel and your front wing falls off. The scope for this game is incredible, and if you claimed it when it was part of Stadia Pro in January, you have it as part of your library anyway. So
this is true.
That counts even more for value for money.
Crikey, that's a good point.
Teeing you up to give it another 2. Yeah,
I've got to add another point on for that.
That's I should add, it's not on Stadia Pro anymore.
No,
I believe it left in beginning of April.
Yeah. But it was, though, and you're right, and I claimed it. Why haven't I played it more? I don't know. What's wrong with you, Rokk? Ray, what value for money does thou thinketh?
I think it's a great game for the value. I gave it a 4. I think you're getting a lot, people. To me, it's like the race car version of Football Manager 2020 and 2021. I mean, you're getting a F1, the ultimate simulation, and do so much from the ground up to racing, the cutscenes, the trophies, the champagne, the customizations, and leveling up your cars. Yeah, this is definitely a 4 for the money. You're getting a really good racing game here.
Well, guys, the final scores are in. In third place.
I wonder.
Trailing behind is Rokk at 15. Ray's coming up much faster at 19. But in pole position is Sammy in the cloud at 22 points.
I'm throwing up the champagne. I'm throwing up the champagne bottle.
That's awesome. So it doesn't quite get into the Rokk Review Hall of Fame, sadly. But I think
I tried.
No, you did very well. You managed to certainly weight the score. So I think the aggregate is probably around 20-ish, which means, well, maybe not. I've done maths of crap as well as my gameplay. But it's a high score overall. So, and the fact is, as you rightly said earlier, if you didn't pick it up when it was a pro game, and if you had pro at the time, you were a bit of an idiot, because it is a great simulator of Formula One. I have to say, my eldest daughter loves this game, but it's just, I just need to get back in. Sammy, one day I just need to spend some time with you, and you just need to somehow give me the skills just to be able to get around the track.
Yeah, there's myself, down your neck of the woods at GSN, Dominic frequently.
Oh right, yeah.
He comes along for Cloudy Play Alongs, and he's very good at the game as well. I think I annoyed him. I crashed into him a few too many times yesterday.
You see, I'm that fella that everyone loves to have in the race because it means they're guaranteed not to lose,
not to finish last.
Yeah. I do have a purpose in life. I make people feel good by being worse than anybody else.
Oh.
Bless him. Anyway, that was good fun. I enjoyed that. Let's kill off that screen. What we'll do is we'll move those chaps out. We'll move us in, and we'll get rid of the game. There we go. We're back. Perfect. Oh, and we'll get rid of that caption. Look at this. If only I had someone to do all this for me. I need a producer. As the producer said to me. Well, chaps, we've got to the end of the game. Even the end of the show. I may have left my brain somewhere back at the previous hour, but we're there. That was awesome in the end. We got there. Thank you so much. Thank you, chat, as well, for sticking with us and coming back in force. Really appreciate that. Sammy, as is the usual thing that we do on these kinds of shows, where can people see you and find you soon?
So they can find me at, as it says in the caption there, well done, at Sammy in the Cloud, one word, and that's on Twitter, YouTube. I do have an Instagram account. I very rarely use it. Much the same for Facebook. And you can also find me at Cloudy with a Chance of Games, where this weekend, if you don't mind me just
please
a little bit,
we
have our Stadia GP. We were saying earlier about how F1 2020 has a range of styles you can do. You can do short 3-lap races where you can crash into as many people as you like. You can do full-length races with full-length qualifying. And that's what we'll be doing this weekend.
Nice.
So we're inviting people from people like Stadia Racing Community and other content creators and people in general to come along. We've got a full 100% style qualifying session on a Saturday.
Wow.
And then a full 100% length race on the Sunday around, for those of you that have played the game, you'll know Melbourne, the Albert Park Street Circuit, which is typically the first one.
I lived in Melbourne. Does that help?
Oh, do? Yeah.
I grew up in Melbourne.
You probably spotted
I was there for a few years. That's not true. But yeah, I was there.
So we've got that, and we're doing 2 whole streams on it, trying to make it, he says, when he knows he's the main person responsible for videos. A few sleepless nights coming up, much like you're watching the real thing. So there'll be interviews, there'll be a few little funny videos, and on Sunday we're even doing giveaway.
So this is going to be on the Cloudy
with Games channel, yeah.
So Cloudy with Games, and that's Saturday
and Sunday. Saturday for qualifying, Sunday for race. Both times. The stream will start at 6:30 UK time. The action will start shortly after 7.
Wow! So that's Saturday 17th and Sunday 18th, I believe, this coming weekend. Cloudy with Games. Let's pop that up on there. That's amazing, actually. That's a great initiative.
It's great. We did something similar in January around Silverstone and
Wake Up, Ray.
I'm here. I'm here.
He was literally, his eyes were closed. My wife.
I got the light in my eyes, Rokk. I'm here.
Would you like me to go and get your slippers, mate?
I'm fine. Rokk.
And a blanket.
I've been drinking coffee. I'm here.
Oh, William, thank you so much, my friend,
yes.
for the little donation. That's much appreciated. Thank you. Very kind of you.
We've done Stadia GP before, back in January. This is the second iteration or the second round of it. I've got enough ideas to last us until probably Stadia GP number 5. So
I think that's a great initiative. So that folks, please do support that as well, because it's those kinds of events that really will make the community. And that's a really positive thing to do. So thank you so much for that. That's I'll even turn in and see that myself, even though, as you know, I won't have a clue what's going on.
I'll try to. So I'll be commentating on it. So that's kind of my option.
Well,
that's kind of my responsibility.
You send Ray to sleep, apparently. So I don't know that
I was not. I got the
I'm not
light
the
in
only
my
commentator.
eyes.
Ray will be fine. Yeah.
Look, I have the light in my eyes. I've been up all this time. Jesus.
Love you, my friend. Listen? You do look tired, and I'm not surprised, because you're up every morning, every evening, late nights, and then you're up again at 3 or more shows in the day. You're one of the most active content creators that we've got in the community. You need a rest. Let's you and me book a holiday to Marbella, shall we? Let's do it. Ray 3473, the gaming cyborg. What are you up to in the very near future, my friend?
Well, believe it or not, me and Colum are back. We're actually doing a PlayStation 5 show, and that's this Saturday. I think it's on UK time at 8, and then my time noon out here. And so we're back together. And then, guys, I'm just doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes on the Stadia Bash Community Network. Trying to recruit, trying to get talent, trying to write shows, giving ideas to other people to be, brave enough to do their own shows and be positive and do positive gaming out there in the community.
You are a very positive force. The show with Callum is that the Playroom?
That is the Playroom, which I've been getting a lot of jokes from a lot of people.
Yeah.
Playroom.com. It's a nice website. Nothing wrong with that,
but it's not that type of show, folks.
Of course it's not.
No.
It's not that
Heavens
type
forbid.
Of
show. What are you doing? What's going on? What's the Playroom going to be about?
Well, he loves Sony PlayStation, and believe it or not, guys, yes, I do Stadia, but I also play other games outside of Stadia, and so we both also love PlayStation as well. So we're going to talk about PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, and also what's going on with the PlayStation 5. So, and that's going to start on Saturday.
Well, you are a great combo, the pair of you, and I'll certainly be tuning in for that one.
Thank you. And then one more plug, real quick.
Of course.
I'm also doing a retro show with Jeff and William from the SBCN Stadia Pro Gaming, and Jeff. We're doing a retro show, Retro Rewind, and so look for that May 2nd.
William and all of the aforementioned lovely people. William actually did share with me some early screen work that he's been doing. He's taking it very seriously. It's going to be a great show.
It is beautiful. He's working hard.
And a fantastic lineup, as always. So that's going to be worth watching. A very quick shout out to Andy Morphs, who's popped in. Hello, Andy. Great to see you. Very concerned about you, my friend. You and I need to have a little chat at some point, I think. Because you're certainly not Mr. Toxic, and it will be the world and the community will be all the sadder for not having you around. So, and I mean that sincerely as well. Mm-hmm. So there you go. We've come. Oh, what about me? Oh yeah, Rokk.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Yeah, you know the stuff I do. Ray dropped off again. It's me. I've changed my name because before anybody asks, now I know you want to Rokk Show, because I was literally muted by Stadia as Stadia Rocks. I changed it to Rokk Show in the same day they started to respond to me. So I just thought I can take a hint. So Rokk Show works anyway. I like that. So I am at Rokk Show, and on this very channel, you can, of course, see me, and yesterday it was Ray. We've had you on as well before, Sammy. Next Tuesday, I can guarantee you it will be John Carr and hopefully Aaron, Stadia Vet Gaming, because they're my two kind of permanent hosts.
Awesome guys. Great guys.
We'll be doing. They're lovely guys.
Did you? Stadia Vet won on John's show, Outriders.
Oh, did he?
Oh, won the Outriders code. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's good. Yeah, it was on late because I was quite keen to jump.
Yeah, you guys were asleep. You guys
I was having a kid.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Blocks Rog Frog, Rick's Frog Freg, Rock's Blog Shog. What is it called, Ray?
Rock Shog? What? Yeah.
Rock's Blog Bash.
It's called Rock Blog Bash.
That's the fella. Rock's Bog Brush. So that's on Tuesday nights, and I am bringing Cloudburst back on GSN, as I'm sure you know. I just haven't tied up the loose ends yet. It's going to be slightly different to how it was. So I'm going to have a little chat with Avery, and we'll work out how it's going to come. And that will be, I'm guessing it's going to be May now, but it's all going to happen. It's going to be fun, gentlemen. Firstly, thank you so much for being Sammy, for being an awesome guest. Ray, because I love him.
Sammy.
He knows.
Thank you, Sammy.
Yeah, Sammy was
Thank you
very worthy of being praised. Thank you so much. And then you guys and chat, my sincere apologies for those technical gremlins. But you've got two shows for the price of one, which ain't bad going, really, is it? When you think about it. But I'm embarrassed. I've left myself up for way too long. There we go. So join us next week, Ray and my very good self, with another praiseworthy guest. Wake up, boy. And I'm letting him go. It's all right. Sammy, thanks so much, my friend.
Thank you.
I don't know that I've got music to play out with. I might have. I'm not sure. No, I'm not even going to risk it.
You got something. You got something there. You got it.
I tell you what, I will play, and then we'll go. Here we go. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.